Hi there, beloved YouTube community. Welcome to what? I would call this conscious conversations, kind of off the cuff. What this is, and we're going to see how often this happens. But I didn't want to go on live. I wasn't sure what my signal was going to be like, so here I am. And here you are. And if you're here for a reason. There's some reason you were drawn to this video. What came up this morning was a question. And what I do with my lives, Live with Love, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, is we connect into our clear senses, we feel into our bodies, we breathe. I also tap into kind of like what energies seem to be coming up for me. And if you're drawn to my videos, there's some part of it that's coming up for you as well. So, conscious conversation, how I began playing, practicing, but playing with my intuitive sense is I started asking questions internally. So here we go. Here's the subject. And I've kind of wondered about this since about a year ago. The question is, why are men afraid of being friended, is I guess the term. Why are men being afraid of being friended? Because I will say that I have been in a place where all of a sudden how I decide to come together with someone is very different in very different going down this path than how I did this years ago, where I was just kind of like, oh, that guy's hot. Okay, yeah. Oh, he likes me. Okay, I like him too. Oh, he likes to dance. Awesome, awesome. I like to dance too. Um, and things just kind of came together, and they were fluidly together very well. In fact, I was very discerning from like those college years. I was very discerning in like the 20s that I I really didn't come together, date people that I didn't feel that spark with. Like, I knew already what was a match and what wasn't a match. I had a lot of guy friends, and throughout most of from childhood on, I was happy to be more one of the guys, be one of, be a tomboy, not really be associated too much with that which is girly. And now I found balance in that. The fact that I can be girly and I can be soft and I can be strong. So women might like this video as well. So, because there's a lot of control factors out there too, like women that feel the need to control things. And part of why we feel the need to control things is because guys are not stepping up to be that container. So, this might help a lot of people. I'm just going to ask this simple question instead of going into that whole range of thing. But currently, here's the question: why are guys afraid of being friended? I was going to look this up on YouTube, and then there was something inside that said, wait, ask here first. Then, if you're still curious, go out there. And we're often asked to do that first. Come within first. Don't allow the external to dictate the answers that you want. So, here we go. This is new for me, so be patient. It's going to be a conscious conversation, a question and answer with my inner being. And this is something for you to practice as well. So, here we are, just woken up. I did put some eyeliner on because I just felt like I looked too sleepy, so here we are, as we are, you and me, I and you. We together here now. Take a breath in. I have a question. question is, why are men afraid of friendship? So why are men afraid to be friended? Why are they afraid of friendship with someone, I would say the opposite sex? As I'm going into this question right now, and knowing that there are people out there that practice many different types of relationships, I will rephrase the question. Because what is coming into my awareness right now as I ask this question, as I have this conversation, is upon first asking the question, so I'll walk you guys through it. The question isn't, why are men afraid of being friended? Having a friendship. Men are not afraid of having friendship with women. Answer this first. Men fear the idea that when they're interested in a woman, that their feelings of attraction will not be returned. The feelings of attraction will not be returned. Okay. Do women have the same fear? Do women have the same fear of love not being returned? Yes, it also exists for females as well, in a different way. It is often thought of that it is the male that would make the first move in a relationship, in getting themselves out there, in making the first opening for communication. This has changed over the years as women are also being brave and coming up to those that they find attractive as well, and taking those steps. Okay, so what's my next question? Give me a minute. I'm a little nervous here. What this has to do with is the feeling of not being accepted, the feeling of rejection, the wanting to be wanted, the wanting to be loved and be loved in return. Okay, so what I did there, guys, was I took it to a neutral place and took it out of the complication of men and women, really, and just the overall energy behind this type of question and what arises for a human, basically. So the idea of wanting to be wanted and wanted in return, wanting to be loved and loved in return. Okay, there is a searching that occurs. And you are meant to be communicating people. You are meant to be as one. You are meant to be connected. And this is one of the ways that you connect as humanity. Just one of the ways. Although the love that is the seeking, the wanting in return, the love is often misunderstood. Yes. This one is asking the question again. Okay, now I'm going to take over a little bit. The question, since I'm kind of showing you a conscious conversation, the question I am asking is, is it possible, we'll just keep it to men and women for now because that's what my experience is, but this can be in relation to any gender, any relationship that you have going on. The question is it possible for men to treat every relationship with the opposite sex? I don't know if I want to say it that way. You guys know what I mean. To treat every relationship with the love that they would put forth into a romantic relationship. Is this possible? Or is it like a band-aid? Is it like a oftentimes people, humans do put forth the extra effort, we will say, in nurturing a relationship that has potential. Potential for something more. And as you are on this path, that is a question you are constantly asking yourself in your lives as you move forward and you move into those timelines of higher vibration. That is a normal thing that you are bringing forth and asking is, okay, I'm not feeling like where I am right now is conducive to what the desire I want to bring in is. So I want more. I want my highest potential. I want to bring in the highest potential. So it is very easy when you are along this path and you are learning to be the creators, the ambassadors, I will say, of your own reality. The ambassadors. I like that. Okay. So the ambassadors of your own reality and wanting to see the highest potential that you put as you're working in this energetic field, all of you will put the energy best foot forward to say, into the timelines that you want to create, into the great vastness of what you are wanting to become and what you are becoming. So how can this be put forth in those relationships? This is what is being asked. Okay, back to me. yes, I'm seeing a dissonance in relationships as I've been delving into sacred sexuality, as I've been delving into like diving more deep into what I see in the external, why relationships are not lasting. I've been seeing in my own relationships throughout the years of, in my experience, I have been loved and I have been loved deeply. And part of that is the discernment in how I allowed a partner to come into to my life, how I decided to engage with another in a way that would facilitate that partnership. Very different from how others have gone into relationships. I had I had a notion at the time that why would I want to be friends with um, mm, let me rephrase this. I had a notion of, since I had male friends, they were friends for a reason. They were often friends for a reason. There was a reason why I was not going down the romantic path with them. I would hear how they spoke of women. I would hear the guy talk back and forth about how they thought women were so crazy and they couldn't read them as well. And they would often come to me and look at me and be like, "You're a girl. Give us a little bit of like, what's your opinion on this?" You know? And I would often like kind of, yeah, I know I'm a girl, but I don't necessarily think about things the same way that most girls think about things. I would come back with that answer. So, where am I now? Let's see. There was a discernment that I had from the beginning. And part of that discernment came from the upbringing, the guidance of probably mostly my mother, although I felt like it was a parent thing, that I be in love with another before I fully physically give myself to another, which is not a funny concept when you think about it. That is not an odd concept. Although, to a world where people would date people on and off, they would date multiple people, they would sleep with someone on the first date or a couple dates thereafter, that is a very different concept because there is a dissonance between what people feel as attraction and what love is. This is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a dissonance there, and I've seen it for a very long time, but I'm noticing it even more so now because I'm taking a step back and I'm just kind of asking, and I'm doing this for me because of the research into sacred sexuality, because of the research of an educational, as we go down this spiritual path, we hear many different things. And when I ask about friendship, I ask this because I myself were in a relationship for many, many years. Like, okay, so we'll give a time frame of over 8 years. It took 4.5 years for things to shift in that relationship where they were not the same. The kindness was not there. And then I started to ask myself that question within that relationship, kind of wondering, like, we have lots of things in common. We have many outside things in common as well. Where it shifted is where kindness was no longer the main point. In friendships that we have with one another, kindness is the main point, but we're also not afraid to tell the person that is a friend of ours kind of what we think. But we also don't hold it as, we don't take offense either. And that was a question that came up between me and a girlfriend of mine one time when we were talking about relationships. We were talking about why is it different that once you get intimate and you end up sleeping with someone, that changes occur, where all of a sudden what wouldn't have bothered you in the friendship now bothers you once the relationship has shifted out of that friendship dynamic. I might be going a little broad here, guys, so let me recenter for a minute. And see what comes through. So when I calm and come to my center, there's a belief that I'm realizing I have come to. And currently, one of those beliefs is that since I didn't have friendship before, that is something that I feel is valuable in a romantic relationship, is the friendship. I'd argued with this way back with another friend, by the way, about like, no, if a guy is my friend, then it is not a romantic possibility. And so I'm playing with that right now. I'm playing with that whole scenario, and I've been playing with that scenario for like the last year and a half, say. But I run into this factor of guys asking, oh, you're friending me. And then disappointment. Okay, where am I going with this? So yes, there is disappointment because it is the unrequited love, unrequited love. I'm not sure if that's how it's put. There is a looking for and a seeking for. And when relationships are coming together, this is what is occurring. So when there is a seeking, okay, that seems to be what's different with me. I'm not seeking love because I am love. So that is something, that's what's shifted, that's what's changed in my whole realm of how I look at relationships. So those that are seeking, those that are wanting love, if it is a wanting, like a needing, there is something there within the person where they are not giving themselves that love. There is a love that is found within first and foremost. When those who are seeking and wanting go out into the world and are desiring this, but do not supply the desire within themselves first, then the desire that they attract is really that is not complete. Do you understand? Yes, I understand, because if you're not complete within yourself, then it would only make sense that you would attract that which is not complete within you. Aha, okay, now I get it. I get it. Okay, guys, why I get this is because for me, I have been noticing that in the financial place that I am currently in and navigating, and it is very different from any financial place I've ever been in before, I will say that. Well, actually, once before. Okay, so there's been another time I navigated it. I created the energies of abundance in my life, and I was able to move through it. In this instance, in this part of my life, I went through a dark night of the soul, and everything got turned upside down. So I started questioning my own intuition. When I started questioning my own intuition about different things and what I bring forth in my reality, and I did this because of an external influence where romantic love was involved. So when I came back out of those depths and I rebuilt myself where I am now, I am seeing that which is not complete. Okay, so in my case, there's something financially that isn't complete, and I'm digressing a little bit, but I want to show you the example that which is not complete in another that we draw to us in friendship or partnership or other, there is something within us that is mirroring of an incompleteness. So for me, there's something financial there, because I'm noticing that other people that I've also had come into my life that were potential in that realm. So what I recognize and I observe is when I was in a place where I didn't trust for a man to take care of me. I didn't trust that I could be that no matter how much I loved someone, I was not going to trust that they could fully take care of me. And then I decided to experiment with that. So I'm just digressing a little bit to show you how an incompleteness can show up in your life that isn't romantic. This is why this kind of makes sense for me. So back to romantic relationships. There is an incompleteness that will be drawn to you in different ways, as we just saw. So if a person is a wanting and a needing, if a person is looking to be taken care of, that possibly means that they are not taking care of themselves in some way, in some fashion. Okay, so what can we take away from this? What are our takeaways? Ask yourselves, what is your intent? What is your intent before or while you are engaging in any type of relationship? What is the intent there? When you are meeting up with another, how can you expand your idea of love? Yes. That is my main dissonance that I find with this. How people are seeing love. Okay, part of why this is coming up for me, back to me, is for a long time I've seen a dissonance in the concept of love. When I go into a relationship with another, I go in full-hearted, loving that person, whether they be a man or a woman, loving them, bringing forth that friendship, that camaraderie, that community, that connection fully to them. I bring that fully. And then, if they be of that nature of there's some attraction there, which for me has been of the male form, then I will observe. I will observe their completeness. Ooh, wow. I will observe their completeness. That is what is occurring through my knowing, is I will observe where they are complete and when they are not complete. And as I observe where they are complete and not complete, I also observe and have the opportunity to also see, as they are mere reflections of me, where that incompleteness is still present in myself. Wow. Wow. Oh, this is huge. Okay, so this is often why others, I'm just asking now, is this often why others who are in my life feel like there is, when I ask them, and I feel that I'm asking them without judgment, because I'm observing something, I will ask them, hey, why do you believe this? Or, hey, did you notice that this is what you're trying to bring forth, but this is not what you are currently living in your life? Like, you're not living that truth. If you want to bring community together, then this is just an example. Then you must live that truth of community. If you want to bring forth play with others, then you must live that truth of play. If you want to bring in what's another example? Basically, it's living the path, living the life, being that authenticity in your life to enable for you to attract that, to bring it forth. So, this one is able to feel this, see this, sense this of another person, the areas where they are incomplete. And this is not something that that other does not know, as was coming up as she was asking this question this morning as she arose. That other knows this. Their inner being knows this. Deep down, as you put it, knows this and knows the steps that are to be taken, but often will, out of discomfort sometimes or other, the mind coming in, and there not being coherence between the mind and the heart, the mind stepping in and saying that this is our process, this is how we do things. However, the heart will always stay open to the processes that come forth. So, practicality. Deep breath. How one sees love can be reevaluated. Expand your definitions of love. This has been asked for before and brought up through this channel, this YouTube channel, this channel that you are. You've been many times asked to expand your ideas of what love is. It is possible, and we will speak to what this one has spoken of in relation to men and women, but this can be put forth in multiple gender relationships. It is possible for one to go in full-heartedly, as they would, carefree and childlike, like they do with a friendship, in every relationship. This is something, I'm asking a question, so there's a pause. Is this something mostly done by women? Men do this too, where they go into a friendship okay, what happens with men when they go into a relationship where they often get friended is the fact that they're not fully stepping into their masculine side. It is quite possible for a male to go into a relationship that starts out as a friendship and then have it become more. It is completely possible. Those ones that have been the example of getting friended, the too nice guy, often seen as the too nice guy, is because the balance between their feminine and masculine is not completely balanced. There is the feminine aspect where they come in and they're bringing assistance, they're bringing love, the assistance, the helping, the showing that I've got you, but they're not stepping enough into the strength of their container of masculinity to allow the woman to feel the solidness, the non-wishy-washiness is something that's coming through. The ability to be there, to be that friend, to have fun, to laugh, think about playing on the playground. Before there was ever the element of sex involved, the ability to go out, play, have fun, get dirty, have different types of conversations that don't necessarily put another person down, but like, oh, well, I don't think that. You think that? Well, I think something different. And it's very neutral. It's very friendship-like. Think back to your childhood relationships. That's come up for this one recently. Yes, recently back to me. Recently, I reached out to someone that I hadn't met, and I created a video, and I was like, this is me making a video, like we're on the playground, and I'm like, hey, what's up? Do you want to be my friend? For some reason, there's some reason to contact you. So I did this recently, and it was awesome. I wasn't feeling, I could say it was successful. I wasn't feeling like if it would be this way or that way. I was like, I'm just going to reach out. And yay, I'm getting together with that person. So This is all possible. Man, woman, woman, man, 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 woman, woman. This is all possible. Uh, so, to clarify for the men out there, the dissonance that comes forth with the whole uh, being friended, the being too nice. It's not that you're too nice. It's not that you're too kind. Kindness is one of the key elements in any relationship. Is kindness first. Heart and kindness. Love. This is another expanded version of love. Kindness. It is not a lesser version of love. Kindness is on the same playing field. Trust on the same playing field. Camaraderie, community, unity, commune, unity, communing in unity, community, coming together. All right, so men, reevaluate the being friended. There are signs that a woman, or we're talking partners here, will give if they want to move forward with a romantic side. There are signs, and we know that that is a very confusing topic for men out there about moving forward. And it usually is, there's one person, be it man or woman, that is taking the initiative, we will say, and that is possibly with flirting. See if another flirts back with you. That's usually acknowledgement of some sort. If the person is keeping it friendly on just a friendship kind of scenario, it is because they themselves are still assessing the potentiality in the relationship. Not only like the basics of, am I attracted to this person? That's generally first and foremost for all of you, is the attraction. Is that attraction physical, or is it on an emotional level? Is it both? Yes. What other elements are part of a relationship at that time? Laughter, fun, joy. What also comes into play are one's habits. If one goes over to another one's place and one is neat and one is messy, that person at that time would see that and be like, all right, I like you, but this is a friendship. Because environment is important to another person. What you have in your environment dictates your reality. The company that you keep in your friendships dictates your reality. You will see this. If you keep company with those who are always in lack, then that will be seen in your reality. We're not saying to cut off your relationships with those people that are struggling financially, but we will say pay attention to the energy that is surrounding you. If you wish to be in abundance, then be in abundance here. This is where your abundance starts. Be in abundance here, releasing lack in many different ways. Be in cleanliness here, and it will show up on the outside. If there is someone's environment that is showing up messy, guess what's going on up in here, energetically and physically, in that area. When one is living their life in those times of like constant clutter, that clutter is what's going on inside as well. So when people, especially going down this energetic path, the human will look and be like, all right, is this happening all the time, or is this just right now? Because if it's constant, that is what's happening in their energetic field. There's a mess. There's a mess somewhere in there, or an organization that is needed, like in that area of their life, and they don't realize that it's showing up on the physical. So, as you are going down the spiritual path, you will go into relationships with more observation and more intention. And the biggest question I have, back to me, is like, because I'm going into relationships with observation and intention, and because I apparently, I'll have to look back at this video, but I am able, oh yes, I am able to see the completeness and the incompleteness in another. And I've been able to do this for quite some time, since I was younger. I did this with my parents. Okay, yeah, I did this with my parents, and so I've been able to see the completeness and the incompleteness in someone and the areas that could be looked at. So that is possibly something I can bring forth in personal sessions with another, as long as they're open to it. They're open to hearing this is what's happening and being able to not take offense to that. Well, yes, I guess if they're having a session with me, they wouldn't be taking offense to it. So, yes, finding the completeness in you will allow you to find the completeness in another. There is no necessarily you complete me. We'll go back to the Jerry Maguire type of thing. There is no necessarily, there are two wholes that come together. When there are two wholes of completeness, even if somebody hasn't done all the scope of the work, they haven't like completely healed themselves, as long as they're in the process and they see and they're open to a partner saying, hey, I'm noticing this with you, as long as they're open and they're willing to take conscious action on the question at hand, is this occurring, and not taking offense, but is this occurring with me, able to ask inside, then the couple themselves are growing together. They're growing in love, in friendship, in many different ways. There is friendship there. The moment that the other puts up any walls or any armor, then the growth ceases and there's stagnancy, and that's why you see relationships break apart. So those relationships where people are getting romantic very quickly and physical really quickly, that does cloud the mind. It feels fantastic in the heart. It opens up the heart. The mind and the heart coherence is needed in any relationship. That is what we will close with. Heart and mind coherence in any relationship you meet up into. Bring that. There will be more and more conscious relationships developing. So that aspect of the male, whoever is the male aspect of holding the container, we will say, not going into gender, holding the container, providing security, providing safety for the counterpart, laughter, joy, fun, growth, growing together, and openness is the key to attracting the feminine in their balance, the feminine energy of wanting to allow, to release, to feel safe to be within that relationship, to also be strong within themselves and provide that which is necessary for themselves, but also to not, we're not talking codependence, but to release and allow another to be that providing quality As this one provides certain aspects of life, this one will provide certain aspects of nurturing and closeness and times where this person can get into their softness. This masculinity of energy can get into their softness and allow themselves to be taken care of and loved also. There is an interdependency happening. Okay. So, thank you. Thank you for that conversation. Thank you, all of you, for joining me here. That was fun. That was really fun. So, I want to open this up to everybody here to please comment and send me questions, because I would like to do this more with some of your questions. I will do this as questions arise for me in my world, but I'm going to open it up to you guys. Come play with me. Have a little fun in conscious conversations and see what comes up. Have some practice. I'm going to practice this so that you can see what this kind of fun kind of play is with your inner being, with your super subconscious is another word being used. Ways to connect with your guides. This is another way to get more in tune with the guides that want to come forth, that we can practice. This is something I'm going to bring in my community as my website is finishing up. So, conscious conversations, off the cuff, right? Give me your questions. I want to know your question, a question that you've had that you would normally maybe search out on YouTube. Yeah, a question that you would normally search out on YouTube, exploring, adventuring. Come adventure with me, and I will go into my inner being and I will ask the question and I will see what comes forth. And eventually we will get to that point where you are not even coming here for this. You are connecting with your inner being and you are able to totally get the answers through yourself. So I'm excited about that. Are you guys excited? I'm kind of excited. I'm kind of excited to see what topics come up for people. So, because it helps me to practice to step more aside, and this is why I wanted to do this video, is not I didn't want to get in the way. I didn't want to get in the mind already and have my mind come up with why I think men are afraid of being friended. That was a key aspect. That key aspect in the last 10 minutes or so, where it talked about what it is to be in balance in the masculine and feminine within a male form and within a female form. That's big. All right. Have a great rest of the day. I'm glad I did this video. I'm glad I got to connect with you guys. Stay tuned for me live with love, 11:11 Mountain Standard Time, currently Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and send this to people who you think would be interested. Mwah.